Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to stream. Another day, another stream. But this time I'm not doing anything. I don't have any plans, although this had gone well enough in the past, but unfortunately that might have been a little bit more on the luck side due to people's availability. So I guess I'll have to pivot maybe a little bit. Maybe it's like a whatchamacallit, guess the game angle or something. Because I don't have like the anime list back pocket something. Was mostly thinking about topics for if certain people showed up, but that doesn't really apply to solo. Oh, you know, I could edit and tweet a thing. Drunken Dragon Gaming, hello, welcome back to the couch. I hope you enjoy your stay. Welcome back. Ooh. My factory in Arknight's Enfield in the second region is struggling. I was gonna tweet that, but I had to edit this screenshot first. Kids got to visit their first anime convention. A few voice actors. Wow. Okay, you know, I've never done that. There are anime conventions like within range of me that happen annually within like there's one with like within an hour and there's one within like 3 hours. And I even had a one of my friends in high school's mom would volunteer at anime conventions and like be the like handler person for actors and voice actors and stuff. It was totally accidental. The meeting the voice actors or the going to the first anime convention. I'm assuming from context that it's the meeting the voice actors, but it almost is like I just no. It's like it just like it slipped in. No, the tickets just magically appeared. No. Oh no, it was. Oh, you're like, well, I mean, okay, so it was. You're like, well, we're basically in the same building. We might as well stop by. Okay, you know what? I hadn't considered that. You know what? Fair enough. Yeah, okay, you know, it was a coincidental locational problem. I guess maybe that's a self-report on me because I don't go to places near where anime conventions would normally happen. Oh, catch me going into a highly densely populated place. For the competition, they give us tickets for free to the country. Oh wow. Okay, you know what? It really was just what, and there just happened to be tickets. Wow, that's all. That's like my overly sarcastic, like, oh, what, you just like get tickets randomly, and that's what happened. That's what happened. You know what? That checks out. That checks out. But it ended up being really cool. Oh, that's a fascinating series of events. Snowstorm. So people were, the turnout was lower. Wow. That's crazy. And was it like voice actors they recognized? That's cool if so. That's fun. They're gonna get addicted to going to anime conventions. Uh-oh. Start them young. That's really cool. Unfortunately, I don't watch anything or play anything with English voice acting anymore, and so I probably wouldn't get to benefit from that experience unless they're OGs. If it was like if like Troy Baker was there, it'd have to be pretty old school. That's a fun story. Thank you for sharing that. That is an excellent series of events. Damn, yeah, that's a good one. That's fun. Favorites was John Swayze. Oh, that's sad. That name does sound familiar. Lord Death and Soul Eaters. I watched like one episode of Soul Eater, I think. John Swayze does sound familiar. It definitely sounds like he's been doing it for long enough. There's probably something I'd seen. Top Z. Hello, welcome to the couch. I hope you enjoy your stay. That's what I see. IMDb. Oh, the first thing that pops up is Nina from Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Oh, you know what? If he's Van Hohenheim in FMAB, I definitely would know him. I have watched that in English. The English dub for FMAB is awesome. He's from the good era. He's from when English voice acting wasn't bad. That's sick. That's awesome. Okay. Yeah, he's doing recent stuff, but I don't watch in English anymore. So there's some of them are still doing the good work. First saw your live 6 months ago, and I just thought, oh, did I not remember you? Sorry. Maybe that was before the ats changed. I'm trying to give myself an out here. Welcome back then. Welcome back to the couch. Just randomly found this live now. It does seem like sorry, I just woke up. It does seem like the this stream I put in like the people and blogs section rather than gaming that I normally do, and it does seem like it gets higher views. That's part of why I was like, I'll try that again Wednesday. J. Michael Tatum. I know that name. I don't. I know that name. Yes. Wow. Yeah. No. That's. And he's like a real actor too. Not that voice actors can't be, you know, they're real voice acting too. I'm worried though that you go to his IMDb, I like the first thing that plays is this Rusted Armors? What is this? Oh, what? Oh no, that's it's this weird I watched that show. Okay, I don't remember what that's called. Oh, he's in MF Ghost. Let's go. MF Ghost only has a 7.4 out of 10 on IMDb. Rip. J. Michael Tatum, that's he. Yeah, okay. You met that. Those are some real voice actors. Plays the Black Butler. Damn. What happened to Nico? Well, Nico's not here today, as far as I can tell. Oh, well, technically, yeah. So, Annie hasn't showed up yet either. And Drunken Dragon Gaming was the first to show up, so they would normally how I do it, they would get the honors. But Topsy, if you really wanted it, I'm sure they would let you have the place on the couch if you so desired. Drunken Dragon Gaming is quite a long name, so I'm going to abbreviate, but grand time, several others. That's awesome. I've never done that. I'm sure well, I feel like most of the magic is meeting someone. You're like, oh my god. But like, I feel like I would have a conversation with people that do stuff would be fun. That's super cool. Chris George. I definitely don't recognize that name. The other ones, at least I recognize the names of. Yeah, I don't. I'm probably not gonna. I don't know if I know this one, but it sounds like that they're people that they, you know, could recognize, which is really fun. It's your first time on the couch? I sometimes it just works out. If anyone ever, you know, I don't say this a lot, but the couch is often occupied by the same people that just show up consistently. So if anyone ever wants to sit on the couch visually, feel free to ask. That's fun. The only like anime adjacent conventions I've been to VTuber conventions, which is basically like, it has, I think, a lot of the things the anime conventions have, but like instead of meeting voice actors, you meet VTubers, and then like instead of the artist alley being like all anime, and VTubers, it's like 80% VTuber and 20% anime. Minecrafting mom, what's up? Welcome back to the couch, Lily. I hope you enjoy your stay. Do you know animation stuff? If someone was like, hey, do you know animation stuff, just like on the street, I would be like, no. But I guess it might depend on. Sorry, no, you don't. No need to. I think I might not know. I might not understand the question. Like I animated this. I know of animators. Make a little thing with stuff moving around. Oh, you know, okay. So like, I did, second rate. No, okay, no. Thank you for clarifying. No, I might. So like I did these letters, because are you kind of looking for somebody to like go like that kind of thing? Wow. I figured out how to do these letters in Procreate. So depending on what you're using, it's probably going to be really different. But I might know that. Awesome if VTubers had a cosplay of their VTuber when they're at the convention. Okay, so that mostly depends on the kind of VTuber you are. So, cause like, where would I start here? So like, the concept of VTubing is from Japan, or at least I'm pretty sure. I don't think. But the modern VTuber we have in the West is based off of the VTubing from Japan, which is based on the like idol culture of the VTuber is completely separate from the physical space. So a traditional VTuber will never attempt to appear in a place in the physical world where you could figure out that they have like a different name than the VTuber. But there are a lot of VTubers that don't subscribe to that belief. So I have seen VTubers wearing cosplay of themselves. So I have seen that at the convention. But it really depends on what you're going for, because like if you like a lot of big corporations that are still based in like Japan will never do that, and sometimes even the audiences will get up, like would be offended if you suggested it. But there is actually, they do that sometimes. That is sometimes a thing. Pro Tools. I definitely, well, it definitely is, it has a tool that does animation, which does make it nice and easy. Anyways, welcome back to the couch. I hope you enjoy your stay. Digital trend originated in Japan in the mid 2010s. That's what I'm aware of, but you know, sometimes they're like, well, actually, you know, sometimes there's a story that digs in, like, well, they weren't aware of the first Dutch person who did the, you know, the oilless boyless, where they had a puppet. No, I don't know. that's the history I'm aware of, but I don't want to say it definitively because I don't know if, like, sometimes it's like, you know, this gaming genre, right, you know, originated in this country just because they did 10 of it, but there's like the one, you know, the person who made Tetris in Russia and then it was stolen from now. He's in an eye. Yes. That, so as far as I'm aware, that is like the modern origination. I think you could argue it goes different ways, but like, right, so the first, you know, VTuber that historically we think of, and she is like just a virtual idol, right? It's someone who appears with a virtual, you know, model, and then just like is basically the same idol culture they have in Japan, just online. And so a lot of the VTubing stuff evolved from that. So the conventions definitely can have, I've seen meet and greets with the flesh tuber. I've also seen them come out on stage and perform in their VTuber cosplay. So it does happen. But it really depends on how they operate. Like some people, like I don't think I would ever do that, because I specifically chose this medium of presentation because I'm separating between like my physical life and virtual appearance. So a lot of VTuber meet and greets are virtual. It's like, which is kind of funny, but he's like, you walk into a room and it's basically like someone had set up a Zoom call and I would like be on a screen and it would be like, that would be the meet and greet, which is a little, you know, a little interesting, but that is often how it's done. But sometimes there can be a person there. It really depends. Some people do VTubing as an optional second layer, and they will switch between, you know, physical space and VTubing. But I'm not uncomfortable with like being on a camera, but if I was doing something where I would show my face, I would have just started that way. Sometimes you know, more and more recently, I do feel like maybe I shouldn't have ever tried to be a VTuber, but I'm still trying. Most people appreciate talking their idol verbally instead of typing. Yeah, no, it's definitely so, especially, and then also it's like they can hear you. They're talking to you specifically. So it's still a big deal. But when you when you put it next to like being like, oh yeah, you get to meet these people and like shake their hand or take a picture with them or something, they're there. And then it's like someone's basically just like remote zooming in. It does sound like it's a less cool experience, but you see a lot of, you know, people still go and they'll take pictures with the screen, and sometimes, you know, if they have hand tracking, they'll do a thing where like someone's doing like you're doing a hand thing together. I don't know, it's still fun. But that's I've only ever been to VTuber conventions, so I've never done the physical meet and greet. Zoom a camera back to the VTuber. I don't know if I know what you're asking, but I can paint the picture in general, and that hopefully will fix it. So most of the time, so like a lot of the VTubers that are like big enough to do meet and greets will have like a full-sized model, and the screen will be like, you know, like a long mirror that you'd have where you could see your whole outfit kind of thing. It's like a big vertical monitor where it's like the VTuber is standing there in there, and they're, you know, proportional to what it would be if they were standing. People talk about physical meet and greets. They talk about being able to show stuff to the celebrity. Somebody noticed what they're wearing and commented. Oh, was the camera about the people in person? Because so the how they do the meet and greets is like that's kind of why I feel like it is like a Zoom thing where it's like the VTuber does see the person. Two-way camera. Yeah, no, it's like a video call, basically. So I've never done it, so I don't like know if the camera is like by the monitor or on it, but yes, it's definitely they can definitely, because people walk in with like they're wearing a cosplay of like the VTuber or a character and they're like, oh my god, and then like a lot of times people will bring you like gifts and things to the meet and greet and they'll show it off and look at it and stuff. Yeah, no, they definitely do all this stuff. And then they always have, you know, like the standard handler, and sometimes they'll be talking about people in line or, you know, like feeding them info or like the next person, this stuff. Yeah, no, it's most of the experience. It's most of it. I feel like the biggest difference is like it seems more like they're phoning it in. If you were coming from like, you know, you're like, I go to anime conventions, I get to, you know, meet these people, they've flown here, and you're like, yeah, the VTubers just sit in their rooms. And they're like, wow, they didn't even bother to show up. But like, I think it is like at least 99% of like the experience, but I think you know, it takes understanding all the bits and bobs and stuff, you know. Beachside merch. Yeah, I think I think it depends. So I think sometimes they'll have little things. I'm not sure though. I think that happens a lot, but I could be wrong. I haven't done it. I haven't done it. But like, as far as animating something goes, I would look for something that can, you know, output like a GIF, some sort of program that can do that. Now that I'm thinking about it, can OBS record something with a transparent background? If that's possible, like the thing that I'm thinking of, if you could say, I haven't looked into it, but if OBS can save video with a transparent background, what you could do is, you know, you could I'm assuming that's like what you're using. I would, you know, put a blank scene, and then if you have like a transparent background of whatever you're looking to move across the screen, I would just try animating you moving it, being like, you start it and you're like, I'm animating, and like, you know, moving it, which is, can you use like arrow keys to move? Oh, you can move the arrow key, use the arrow keys to move stuff. So if you could find a way to consistently, I'm using my hands like you used to be, if you could find a way to consistently move something, I would do it. I would janky record it is what I would do, but that might be terrible advice. Procreate has like an actual like animation thing where you can set up the frames, and that works, but Adobe Express Pictures. Oh. I'm not familiar with that program, but because like if you Google like animation with oh, this is adding animations into Adobe Express, but that's not making something in it animated. I found Adobe Express make animated videos in minutes, but I'm worried that that's probably like an AI tool. Yeah, I don't know. Guy coming to uni years ago with a physical robotic stand-in instead of a digital representation. Whoa. Physical robotic stand-in. That sounds futuristic. What kind of cyberpunk future is that? Often at conventions you'll see there'll be like VTubers on iPads on little robots with wheels, and they'll like wheel around and talk to people. That's what I was imagining, but physical robotic stand-in sounds like the Terminator. 100 frames. Only duplicate the one at a time. It doesn't have any positioning tools. Ooh. That is quite a few frames. You're looking one at a time and it doesn't have any position tools. Damn. Well, is there any sort of like aligning? Oh god, that sounds like you could do it, but it sounds like it would take a long time. I don't know anything, but it might be worth looking into if there's like a free animation tool or something. Hello, Bella. Welcome back to the couch. I hope you enjoy your stay. It was small. It was a tiny robot. It was like one of those little dogs that like play a song and then do a backflip. I'm like, free stuff online can be kind of sketchy, but like, because I don't know if Inkscape does any animation stuff. Free animation tool. Oh, Adobe After Effects is animation. But I don't know if that comes with I don't know how the Adobe tiers work. There's an Unreal animation. Blender. Flip a clip mobile. Oh god, but now AI stuff pops up in here. Ooh. What are you all talking about? It depends. I'm not talking about anything specifically myself. I'm responding to mostly at this point 2 different threads. We're talking a little bit like anime / VTuber convention meet and greet stuff, as well as some animation stuff. After Effects is powerful and probably the best tool. I would try for animation. Having something that is designed for it would probably be the best bet. I would think either go for something that does animation specifically, or if you can, you know, jerry rig some janky hand animated video. I would also try that. Go back to robots. I mean, like, I feel like I'm pretty good at coming up with janky solutions for stuff, but I do think I probably this situation requires maybe some specific tools or specific knowledge about the like Adobe. There might be a better way to do that, but yeah, I think probably need some specific knowledge. But yeah, I happen to do most of my online art stuff starting with Procreate, and it also happens to have a pretty darn good little doing animations in the program. You're like, I duplicate it and then I move it frame by frame. It's just like doing it's just like doing a little flip book on like a thing of sticky notes. Classic. Yeah. It was, I've been going to the same VTuber convention for how many years? I've been going for like 3 years in a row, but I don't really think I'm gonna go this year. I really enjoy VTubers. And I would love to like be one, but I'm feeling very specifically not in the community at this time, and so I don't know if I would appreciate it like I normally do. I mean, I always sometimes I want, you know, like last year I was like, oh, I'm not really feeling it, I don't know if I'll enjoy it, but I went and it was a good time. It always is. And it always makes me feel like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go back and start streaming again right when I get back. But it's funny when you're there in person, everyone seems, you know, the community seems super welcoming and stuff, but I think it's like online, it's like the community doesn't know I exist, which is no one's fault, but it doesn't feel good. Turns out a lot of the people doing it are a lot more extroverted than you'd think for, you know, choosing to stream online and not have a camera on. Could you go for fun? I've gone for fun every time. I've never treated it as like, even though I would like to be a successful VTuber, it's never been like a business convention for me. But I don't know, the feeling of being like, one day I'll be part of this more than just a viewer gets a little harder to stomach, because I'm like, I know it's not gonna happen. Which is sad. The reason I went the first time was for the artist alley, and that's the thing I'll definitely miss the most. But sometimes the artist I've been getting all the art books and stuff from, sometimes they do online orders, so it's possible I might not miss out anyway. And also another reason is I have so much art that I got from last time in the previous years that I've now run out of wall space, and so I don't really need any more. I have a lot of really good stuff that I bought over the years, and so I guess technically I'm kind of full up. Climbing on hotel desk this year, I didn't quite make it. Well, did I climb from the? I think I was standing on the chair. I don't think I totally used the desk, but yes, standing on a chair in front of the window while a wedding was happening in my underpants. That probably won't happen this year. Yeah. That did happen. And because last year it was fun. It was like my first solo trip. A practice run for the second solo trip I took within a very short amount of time. Core memory. You know, I don't think about it all that much, but it was kind of funny. It was kind of funny. But yeah, not planning on going anywhere as of yet. In my defense, Bella, I don't think anyone, the wedding was a couple floors down. I don't think, no one probably saw it. They were probably busy having a better time. But in theory, someone might have. I was wearing a shirt, and I don't think the angle was bad enough that you could look like up under my underpants or anything. So I think it was just probably mostly some, I don't, just a weird image. So that was, you know, it was an important trip for me to have taken. Just be like, I've traveled a decent amount, but you know, getting the confidence to be like, I can do all the things myself. Even if I'm like, I know I can be a self-functioning adult. Sometimes it's like, if I'm by myself in a traveling situation, will I be able to, you know, handle it? And I definitely could. Which is nice to confirm. Cotton 4K. Well, as far as I'm aware, that didn't happen. I don't think there's any photo evidence of it, other than I have pictures that I was taking, and that kind of reminded me later was I think I straight up didn't remember that like the wedding was happening at that time until I was looking back to my photos. That I took a picture of the wedding and be like, oh my god, there's a wedding happening right here, and then I was like, oh shit, wait, oh no, I was standing there. But yeah, there's no photo evidence of it happening, as far as I'm aware. I haven't seen that online. But yeah, I have some like pictures out my hotel room window, and I was showing that later, and I was like, oh. Oh, yeah, actually, interestingly, you can see an Adobe building in one of these pictures. Whoa, it's all coming full circle. We were just talking about Adobe. And there's a picture of pizza. Pretty good pizza. Sod, what's up? Welcome back to the couch. I hope you enjoy your stay. Are we able to settle on an argumentative topic? NCIS zoom enhance. I don't know. The angle was severe enough because it was like, I think the room I was in was like 2, 3. It was like 3 or 4 stories above like the pool where the wedding was happening. So potentially if someone was standing at the far end and took a picture, I could be in the top like left of a photo, but the timing would have to be pretty specific. But if you were taking, I think the wedding was happening like, most of the stuff was happening on the far side, so I think the pictures were going the other way. So I think I'm probably pretty good, but you never know. Don't be about the past few days. Recent. It's hot and fresh. I feel like I've been hearing just every once in a while some negative things, or just like how they handle licenses just in general is a little bit like eh. But as far as I know, their tools are still pretty darn nice. They're an OG, and sometimes OGs turn a little sour over time as the corporations want more shmoney. 2026 broke so many people's workflows too. Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's the kind of statement I hear, and I'm like, yeah, I feel like someone's always breaking something for someone as far as, you know, existing technology goes, and that's why you never update. No. But I do imagine that like with the introduction of people wanting to switch like AI tools and crap, that it's only gonna get worse. Getting rid of Adobe Animate. Oh, there are so many Adobe products. I was familiar with like one, so although I did just try and look up animation stuff, so they didn't necessarily come up. I don't know anything. I mostly just heard about like Photoshop drama in the past. Yeah, online let's just software tools. Ick. Skip 2024 entirely. You know, I think it's a good idea to not update until you've verified that it works how you want it to and doesn't break what you already have. I think that's a good idea, especially when it's like not security related, where it's like, I doubt there's a lot of security holes for exploitation in Adobe products. And so it's not like, you know, always update because they're patching out, you know, exploits for security reasons. Photoshop is the least intuitive program ever. Yeah. I think it's up there. I got an ancient version of Photoshop at one point when I was like, okay, I need to do some art for like my channel and stuff, and that was one of the first things I tried, was like a ancient license of Photoshop, and I was like, this doesn't make any sense. And then I moved to Inkscape, which did most of the things I was looking for. But a free modern alternative. And then eventually I was like, I get Procreate. Doing the easiest things are instant 23 would take 2 minutes. Ugh. Yeah, I I hate when people make things worse. And it's like, did no one verify that this was not worse? How is that not like the bare minimum of updates? Yeah, I hate that. That sucks so bad. Argument is on Friday. So it's not a paper. Okay, interesting. So then I will look for more topics. So you have not decided on a topic. RIP. Unfortunate. I mean, like, is it that, like, is the topic that important? Inkscape spits with disgust. Whoa. What the fuck? Whoa. What's going on here? God forbid someone uses a free program. Ugh, you peasant. Why don't you pay $30,000 a year to use AutoCAD? What? What the fuck is this? Jesus, check your privilege. Maybe you're joking. AutoCAD's a terrible drug program too. I've never used it. I just remember sound being like, oh my god, it's so great and it's free, and I'm like, it is literally not. But good try. So I was trying to, you know, reference back to that. Using college for one class. That's I feel like that sums up a lot of software tools. They're like, yeah, I used it once for like this one class where we had to. And that was it. That was I took a maps course in college where we use Google Earth, and now I just have a copy of Google Earth on my PC at all times because it's such a fun tool for, you know, you can go and you can I feel like I had at least one good experience. I feel like there's some other things in some other classes I used, but that was one good thing where I was like, and there's, you know, a free version. Google Earth, it's fun. That geography class that maps class was awesome. Had a great time. Never attempted to get AutoCAD. Yeah, I feel like it has some very specific use cases. I feel like it's really good for like technical design stuff, as far as I'm aware. But other than that, I don't know if it's really for anyone else. Blueprints keeps trolling. Yeah, I would argue that is its natural state of being. But I'm a Blueprints hater, so ruler and pencil is better. Yes, but if you needed to send a picture of that digitally, maybe it would translate a little better instead of having to scan it. I don't know. Pencil, ruler, paper is an OG combo. That was actually, I was thinking about that. It was last night. There's me and my sister are watching this show that I believe the title is literally "The Other World's Books Depend on the Bean Counter." I think is the official title. But it's basically like a, you know, like Japanese office workers isekai, and he's like doing financial stuff. But in some shots in the background, there'll be a piece of paper with a graph on it, and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing making a graph? Like they don't have like their world is entirely like pencil, paper, like why are you making a graph? Why do they understand graphs in this world? Like normally it's a graph is a good visual communication tool, but like if no one around you is familiar with graphs, you'd have to teach them the graphs, and also like plotting the points and drawing them would be so much work versus I think it's just, you know, something in the background that someone put in because like economics, but I'm like my worldview is MS Paint, hell yeah. Drawn using vectors before? I mean, yeah, because I think Inkscape is vectorized. but I don't know. I don't know if I would be able to distinguish. I know that, like, you know, I'm familiar with the difference of how things are saved, whereas, you know, like with vectors you can resize because it's a consistent thing. It's not, you know, like pixel based. But I don't know if I would know the difference between like the drawing in either. I feel like normally I'm familiar with like the data preservation side, but I don't know. History quiz tomorrow. Oh, thanks for stopping by. History quiz. Damn. The terminology is close. I don't know if I've ever studied for a quiz before. I think you could argue I studied for vocab quizzes in high school, but it was only ever like the day of pulling out the piece of paper and looking at it. The fish are multiplying. Yesterday you almost said, oh, yesterday was it plural? I think yesterday you said I got a new fish. So I was assuming it was singular, but because of the A, I'd only heard about one. So I was attempting digital art, Adobe Illustrate, which had vectors. Been a while since I've done digital art type of thing. Not on your phone. Whoa. Handshake. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. Speaking of revision, how's the gope? How's it goping? I hope, are you pleased with the reception? Are you gonna start just like pumping out gope fix now? You're like, well, I was worried about whether or not I could capture it once, so I never did it, and now that you've done it, and are you addicted? Or are you gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna write all the Seven fish, holy Jesus. Well, I guess I had heard about the fish that died. Maybe not all 7 are new. That's a lot of fish. Reception said pretty much the same. Okay, but are you? I like. It's probably. It sounded like it was positive before. I don't write stuff, so I don't know. I hope you're happy with this reception. No one was like, oh my god, you don't know how to write a British militaristic person. Get out of this fandom. Hello, welcome to the couch. I hope you enjoy your stay. I don't know how to pronounce that. Nico, what's up? Late? No, I feel like live streams, especially mine, are like inherently missable. I was thinking about that before when I was starting stream. Sometimes it's kind of sometimes I'm sitting there and I've set everything up and I've set it to go, you know, things are connecting. I'm sitting there and I'm looking at the empty chat and I'm like, okay, today could be an empty day. I'm like, maybe today I'm just talking to myself. And then I was sitting there, I was thinking about it, and I'm like, the way I've set up my schedule and being like, hey, just come hang out, etc., does sort of make it inherently missable, because I myself am being like, right, I don't want people to feel like they need to be anywhere on time at all. But then at the same time, that makes it so that people are like, well, yeah, that's cool. I don't need to be there. So it's like, you can't be late. But then sometimes I'm like, well, I'd like if someone was here. But I'm like, I did sort of ask for this. But no, it's impossible to be late unless you're like, I need to hear every word. Not confident I can write them well, but I have active plans to write more. Let's go. Nice. Game. Please game. Oh, I have no plans on gaming today. Did I set this up wrong? Am I not? I'm pretty sure today's stream should just be in like the people and blog. Did I fuck up? I've done that before. I have done that before. What? Does it show what? It's all people and blogs. Yeah, okay, this is, I don't think and the thumbnail should be the couch. I don't think I lied. I was just checking. I have done that before. I have had a mismatch and stuff. Yeah, double-edged chill couch. It is chill, but it's chill. I'm sorry, seeing the correction and just edged showing up, it was like, oh, what? What's happening here? The ambiance, food, water, atmosphere. Sick today. Right now, it's cool. Sick day at home from school was pretty dope. It happened to me very rarely because I'm built different. But yeah, no, being sick sucks. The decor, we do have quite a nice unchanging couch. Yeah, no, it's the dichotomy, the juxtaposition. No, but it is the double edge sort of chill. Is I don't want it to be super high key. No, it's just like, it's low key. We're hanging out, but then that also does make it so each moment is supposed to be less important. And is probably antithetical to growing an avid audience. Throngs of Taylor Swift fans, K-pop, people going to concerts like, I just want to change, I just want to hang out. Yeah. The people do not crave the relaxation as much as they do the high man's emotional response. Streams being either one VTubers watching their kids chat. I was like, children. Chat treats VTubers their Tamagotchi. Yeah. Well, there are lots of breeds of VTubers now. I guess I probably, well, I feel like I would normally fall under the Tamagotchi thing, but I do also happen to have some like actual kids stop by, which makes it hard to not but I think that might be more circumstantial than live stream is like stand up. It definitely can be. Doing crowd work. I think you're getting close to touching on kind of like live performances. Like, is it gonna be a interactive thing? Is it gonna be like a movie? Is it like a show? There are so many options. Telling chat to eat versus telling VTuber not to forget to eat. Interesting. I'm definitely understanding the concept. I feel like I don't fall under either category, but I guess I would like to lean more into telling people to eat, but I don't know. That's interesting. Bombing front audience behavior. Sometimes you just get heckled from the back. Play more video games. Where's the game? What do you? I'm like, I'm damned if I do and damned if I don't. I can play a video game for months straight, and then as soon as I'm like, I'll do something different, and people are like, where the fuck's the video game, bitch? Sorry for Tamagotchi. No, it's okay. I feel like people like to do that. That's right. If VTubers are talking about there are 2 categories and one of them is Tamagotching, people do like to do that. I don't know. It doesn't bother other people, so. I don't know. It's funny. I was telling my family about that. And my mom was like, "Oh my god, it just means they care." And I'm like, I'm not their problem. But yeah, no, like right, like the drinking water redeems are like just like a thing on most Twitch streams or whatever. So like it's that's apparently just a very normal thing. So I feel like I don't know, depending on how you look at it, it could be like a, you know, friends making sure someone's okay. But I don't know, I feel like it kind of sets a weird standard. Had to host a meeting. Sheesh. Drunken Jack Gaming working 9 to 5. Straight zooted. Host a meeting. Damn. Scrum master over here. Gotta get that parasocial positive connection in. Yeah. I know I was thinking about the like parasocial aspect, but like what's when let me think for a second. It's like, what's the difference? I think I think in my head, let's see if this makes sense, that like, I think parasociality and those things are almost always a little bit negative, because forming like an emotional connection with something online is just like almost always a false equivalence. But I think it's this topic kind of dances around the aspect where it's the I want to be involved in, you know, your eating and drinking habits, and I want to know where you live kind of thing, versus like I think the parasocial stuff that is the best is just like the emotional personal connection, where you're like, right, it's because the more ingrained you are with like the physical minutia, the more you are more likely to become fixated on like, I want to meet this person or whatever, which I feel like is kind of like the downside, was like, I want this person to be my friend in real life. But if you can focus on the like, I just enjoy talking to them or spending time on the streams, is like, yeah, this is just a thing that affects me positively. It's like a, you know, a song I like to listen to, something to have on in the background, like something to check in with, kind of like it's like no, I'm not gonna go there. Whereas, because if you're like, I'm invested in their physical well-being, I want to know where they live and what they look like, I feel like goes down the wrong path of parasocialist. That's how I feel like I see it myself, but I'd be interested to see you know, feedback on that. Several people suggest I VTube due to your logo. Oh, you know, I've the logos are really small. They play a surprisingly big part in how I like seem to like recognize people when they stop by chat. But now that because it's probably a dragon with like a tankard. I'm gonna be honest. For a while, I thought it was a bird. They're really small. So like, when I get things wrong, it's 99% of the time it's my fault. But I was like, what is your logo? And I was like, is that a bird? I'm assuming it's a dragon. But how small? It's if I put my cursor over it, my cursor covers like the whole circle. But sometimes people change their logo, and I'm like, I don't know who you are, and their name is entirely the same. 3 more full papers. So you've written 6 pages on this one missing airplane? Well, it's sorry that I got whiplash. It's just so confusing. I've decided when I'm an adult, period. I'm going to become an investigator. Whoa. Oh. I'm glad you're really interested in this. There's a lot of really good like true crime / investigative content online to consume and be interested in. I'm surprised there's enough information to write that many pages of high quality stuff. If you well, I don't know, a little over enthusiastic. Yeah, online friends. I know I was thinking about the online friends thing while I was mid stuff, because I hear about that a lot. I personally at this time in my life don't really believe in the online friends thing. But I hear a lot about, that concept, that I am willing to believe that I'm wrong there. But I don't know. I think potentially one of the things is that's just not how I work. But I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm a sad, angry, lonely person. And I'm like, online friends aren't real. But I don't know. Gotta be careful online friends, because someone's even an old man or old lady. Yes, that is definitely part of it. Because I think definitely definition of friends could be a really good starting point, where like I think having people online that you just like enjoy playing games with or talking about stuff with, or like that shares a passion, like kind of like a online forums where it's like I go to post, like if there's like a group of people that write fanfic, it's like you're like, I'm in a Discord server for people who write GOAP. And we all enjoy writing and reading each other's stuff and having interactions about that. And I think considering those people your friends wouldn't be negative. But I feel like I personally try and keep the like friend definition as close as possible. Like the people that you trust with everything, and be like, keep a circle of, friends, like that's like, less than like 20 people. Ideally, so or or like 10. Having different levels of friends is totally normal, but it's like I don't think having people you positively interact with online isn't bad, but like to me it's kind of like back earlier when I was talking about like the physical parasociality stuff, like having people you like spending time with and talking to online, I think is a good level of like friendship. And that's the kind of parasociality I would aim for like my stream, is like we're friendly, and maybe like low level friends, like we know a lot about each other's likes and interests and stuff, but we're not like, I know what they look like, and I know everything about them, and it's like the kind of like levels of like friendship knowledge, where it's like having your special interest friends online, but not being like, these people are integral to my reality and my perception of myself level friends kind of thing. And sometimes people, I think, put those together and they're like, right, my online friends know who I am really. And I think a lot of people find so much value in that I find it hard to believe to like, I sometimes it's like the pushback to be like dismissing it as a thing. But I think, you know, finding validation for yourself is really important, but that I think you ideally would be getting that from, I don't know. Anything long distance has a layer of complication? Definitely, for sure. Can't rely on someone you can never meet. For most things, yeah. Form friendship connections. Friendly is good. Yeah, I know. I think you know, a lot of it could come down to what you like your definition of like what is a friend. And like if you're like shown in anime, you're like everyone's my friend. Which, you know, it's like, right, being nice to people and not wanting to, you know, mean them harm. If we're taking friendship down to be like, I like that person, even a little bit. I want to help them out. Then it's like, yeah, everyone's my friend. But then suddenly at that point, then I feel like the term kind of loses meaning. But I don't know. Philosophical, almost even. Yeah. Make much sense? Let's go. Sometimes I wonder about that. How much sense can I really make? If no one's here? No. Yeah. Thanks for hanging out and listening to me. Online people can be kind of scary sometimes. I mean, yes. I think all people can be kind of scary sometimes. I don't know exactly what you mean by that, but that's definitely true. Anything can be scary if you try hard enough. Internet friends are also the ones that ghost you. It's true, and you don't even know if it's because they died or not. They could have literally been ghosted. You wouldn't know. But yeah, no. Because I think, right, that's one of the things that I feel like is the scariest, or I don't know, scary is not the right word, it's just because it was in my head. But it's like, I see that a lot, especially with the younger and younger people, is as soon as someone gets uncomfortable, I'm like, right, if Bella was like, oh, that was scary, and then they just like block you because you disagreed about which My Little Pony was the coolest or something, right? It's like the way you can, in positive and negative, the way that you can like control things by like, you go on Twitter and you could block half the population if you just don't like seeing their opinions, which is a totally valid thing to do if you're trying to look for like art or, you know, just happy stuff instead of seeing political crap all the time. Like, it's cool that you can control that, but then suddenly if you're like if a lot of your meaningful connections are built online, but then you have this mindset where if someone disagrees with me about a single thing, it makes me feel like, ew, what? Oh, I don't like that we have differing opinions, and then you like cut contact with them. Suddenly people are building these like one-sided emotional relationships. It's like, wow, I just feel bad for everyone involved, because that's just like not how people work. Always be careful online and IRL. Yes. Agreed. But it's like it's really hard for me to know, because I just kind of have to take people for their word, like this in stream. Sometimes when, you know, someone says something, I'm like, that sounds kind of weird, and they're like, oh, I gotta go, and I'm like, did they need to go, or are they just leaving because I wasn't agreeing with them? And like, sometimes I like today when Saad was like, I gotta go study for this quiz. After I was like, whoa, what's with your response on Inkscape? And talking about like their argument topics. And then they're like, I have a thing to do. And I'm like, did they have a thing to do? Or were they just leaving because it wasn't going how the way they wanted? And I hate thinking that, but sometimes the situations are much more apparent and being like, oh, I have a thing that came up, and I'm like, what, just after I caught you lying and that you suddenly need to go, and we're not gonna work through this. We're not gonna have a little bit of a, why can't I think about not consequences, but I'm like that, because that's how connections are deepened, is you talk through things that aren't all sunshine and rainbows. You're like, hey, what, that was a weird opinion, I don't agree with that, can we talk about that? And you're like, no, we're gonna gloss over this rough thing. And it's like, if you never do that, I would like to do that like a little bit. I would like those, like the deeper emotional things, but then like, no, but you won't even tell me where you live. I don't conditioned relationships, yeah. Usually chill though. I don't know, for some reason, this is the second time I've tried to, I've been trying to ask in-depth questions about this argument thing, and every time I do, they disappear. Which just could be a coincidence. But it does seem like they, I'm like, what's happening here? It's a little weird. It's just like 2 days in a row. I'm like, it's just, I'm like, could be a coincidence. Could be a coincidence. I don't know. I don't know. I can't know. All I have is what people say. And most of the time I do believe it until something comes up and we're like, ooh, that interesting parallel here. Interesting that you would suddenly need to go as soon as I uncovered that you were lying about having 2 cell phones. Interesting timing. Fascinating. We're just gonna pretend like that didn't happen, and hopefully that time makes everyone forget. Okay. I see. No consequences to our actions. Got it. Was consequences I was looking for? When will you learn your actions have consequences? But there's one thing that confuses me sometimes, is like, what, like, if I wasn't trying to honestly and fully respond to things in chat, what would be the point of the experience? But maybe I'm trying to offer a full balanced meal and people are looking for empty calories. Maybe I'm not making the kind of content people want to consume. I don't think I've really considered that in that way before. Land on consequences earlier. Maybe 32 kudos. Yo, hey, that's like 10 more than yesterday, right? Although not, I do love numbers. Numbers go up, and I feel I'm happy for your number going up. But then I was like, oh, let's try not focus on the numbers. But no, yeah. All your fish look the same. Can't tell which one is who. You name them all the same name. That's a good idea. You got 7 fish that all look identical? Interesting plan. Which name would you pick all of them? Probably one you like would be a good start. Pikachu. Other people's responses should make it worth or not to try engaging. Yeah. Well, then it's like the even if you're like, yeah, numbers going up is a slippery road to it being meaningful. And keeping away from the reason to do it is the key. But as soon as you're like, well, you know, I liked writing this, but I didn't get as many kudos as the last one, so I'll change it. And then you're like, well, it's kind of hard to get away from though. Because like at the end of the day, I feel like part of the act of sharing something is you want it to be seen by other people. And if like if the number don't number, then you're like, why did I even share it? Try to focus on the numbers. Yeah. Get a little obsessive. Oh, yeah, it's so natural. Wait a while for thinking about writing another goat fic. Fair enough. Oh, yeah. Well, I think it's because you clearly were worried about your ability to portray this dynamic that you really like, and so you're looking to see whether or not like you're looking for like validation or confirmation about the worries you had about how you were portraying things, because you're like, I don't know if I could do it, and then you're like, do people think I can? So like it makes sense not to care about the kudos, but do care. Yeah. No, that's 100%. I get I get the whole thing. It's hard, but it's hard to be like you because it's like, be happy with however many you got, but then you're like, well, can I get some more? No, I think that's it's a weird side effect to this like internet era, is that like it's a weird commodification of stuff, and that when you can so easily like write, you're like, I liked writing this thing, and oh, some people are liking it, that's awesome, but then like you go and you scroll to read something else you like and it has 3,000 kudos, and you're like, huh. And you're like, comparison bad, don't do it. But it's online, it's so easy because it's on this, sometimes it's on the same screen, you can see, you know, you're scrolling, and it's just like kind of fucked up. Half of them are named Felix and half of them are named Isabella. Interesting to go for half and half. Also, how do you split 7 in half? Or you like, I haven't specifically named half. It's just conceptually half. If any given time I'm looking at 2 fish, one of them is Felix and one of them is Isabella. Annie likes it. That's a kudo. It's like a mathematical for any given set of fish. N plus 1 fish will be named Isabella. For all N in fish tank. Putting off comments. Oh. We're like, don't send me notifications. All the ostriches at work, Fred. That. Alright. What? I have questions. I thought you before you had mentioned working in food safety, and there are ostriches at where you work? I'm I'm I I'm I don't how I just never I don't know if I'd ever considered that statement ever coming across, but I feel like I could imagine a zookeeper saying that. You do work in food safety, and yes, they're ostriches. What? It's not a happy conclusion for the ostriches. Do you work at an ostrich butchering plant? What? No, what is happening? Is that a what? Wait, no, what? Are there ostrich ranches? Ostriches are farmed globally for their meat, leather, feathers, and eggs. What? I didn't know this was a thing. That's the only abattoir. Oh shit. Is that, I feel like what abattoir I'm familiar with is like the bloodletting. Damn. Oh, slaughterhouse. Oh, I thought. Oh, huh. Damn. Rip ostriches. No wonder they have one name. You don't want to get too attached. Damn. Well, that was not the development I was expecting today. Huh. I don't know. I feel like even all the reports you seem to be writing, I just assumed you worked in some sort of office. So I was imagining you like office drama, and you're like, the ostriches work. I'm like, the what? the your office has ostriches in it? I bring in work home, and I'm like, I office work type. I feel like my first thought was like, you know, like what's like the emu, what's the what that's like there's the insurance, it's like emu, and there's like the bird with a tie on it. Is it emu, that is what it's called. Emu and Doug. Liberty Mutual. Birds paperwork. These birds were imported illegally. I know that emus are not ostriches, but this is what I was thinking of. Wait, where's audits. That does sound like a lot of paperwork. Boom. You're like, yeah, I call it all the ostriches at work his name, and I was like, damn, Annie works with ostriches. I was like, I had not, and like animal racism here, being like, well, emus are basically ostriches, but like big bird, and I was like, oh my god, there are ostriches at your workplace. Because it was like paperwork plus bird equals, huh? off as working. They're working birds. Wow. Okay. That I was like, the what now? Well, how about that? Well, now you know. Wow, interesting. Have I ever seen an ostrich in real life? I don't know if there are any ostriches at my local zoo. So I don't know if I've seen an ostrich. I mean, I've seen plenty of like video and stuff of them. And documentaries are like the videos of them, like there's like you can drive through and like feed ostriches seeds and stuff, and they like stick their heads in the cars. Yeah, it doesn't look like there are. I've mainly been to this one zoo near me, and there doesn't appear to be ostriches, so I don't think I've seen one. Seen one there when you're 5, but too scared. They are big birds from what I've seen. And I feel like there's the viral videos of there's I don't know what experience it is, but it's like a drive-through safari kind of thing where you like have a bucket of like feed and they open the window and they like stick their heads in. Big bird. But as far as I'm aware, I don't know, but that like ostriches are just like big bird. But from what I've heard, the emus are the scary ones, because I think they're the ones that can like kick you and kill you, right? I bet ostriches can too, but I feel like I've heard the emu are much more evil, and then they just like want to fuck with you. But I don't know anything. That's just what I've heard. I heard it rumored. Forced my mother to carry me because they were following us. Being stalked. Ostrich, you know, they're probably some of the closest relatives we have to like velociraptors. Dinosaurs. I just recently learned the ostrich head in the sand thing is false. It's that they don't stick their heads in the sand to regulate temperature. They're checking on their eggs. Ostriches can kick you too. Yeah, they got big, powerful legs. Haven't encountered an emu. Can't say the meter. I don't remember what I was watching, but I heard someone talking about emu. I don't actually remember why. I think it was a long time ago. I don't know. Animals are strange. Watching a lot of Tear Zoo. Good stuff. Animal kick. Like to sit and huddle away from the rain. Oh, that's a good hobby to have. Or should we let's switch it up. And he spends a lot of time on the couch. Brains are smaller than their eyes. Can confirm. Oh, you're like, I've seen it. Rip. Their little brain. Outside all day yesterday. It's cold and it's winter, so I got sick. I feel like that shows up in media a lot, is that it's like, oh, I was wet outside and I got a little cold. I don't know if I believe that. I feel like that happens in anime all the time, where it's like, it rained outside and I didn't have an umbrella and oh, now I'm sick. And I feel like extreme temperatures could put more of a strain on your body and weaken your immune system, but I've never ascribed to that belief, but it's possible, I suppose. Can't vocalize. Silent birds. They have no tongue. Like, they can. Are they? So do they like make no noises? Sleep with the window open, my nose blocks up. Well, that sounds like allergies, but I guess that counts. Nose running could be temperature wise too, I suppose. Sounds like allergies to me, but I pretend I'm a sugar cube. I'm melting. Oh, it's to stay out of it. For some reason I read that as I imagine I'm a sugar cube and stay out in heavy rain, but it was the opposite. Breathy sounds. Whoa, there's like oh, that was not an endearing image. They just breathe. Whoa. It's like they just like run around and they don't even like I feel like ostriches be like they seem like they'd make noises. They look like they would. They're like oh, that's pretty accurate. Oh, that's kind of scary. Sounds like a serial killer coming by and be like there's an ostrich behind me. No. I want to know what the scariest animal is. I mean, you can say what you think the scariest animal to you is. I think that's probably a pretty personal question. Or is scariest a term based on like how many people they could eat, or is it like the thing that makes you feel the most scared they should? The goose is the scariest animal. That is not what I was expecting. I know that goose are more terrifying than they seem, but I don't know if they're the scariest animal. They do got those, they got them teeth, and they do like to honk and bark. Untitled Goose Game, go burr. He's got a knife. But I definitely don't think they're the scariest. I know that like if you looked at a goose from afar, you'd be like, oh, it's a goose, and then they're like, oh shit, they scary. I definitely like they're scarier than a lot of people think, but I don't know if scariest. Like, I think I'd I could be wrong, but I would be less scared like fist fighting a goose than being in a room with like a tarantula, like a spider that like looks venomous. I'd be like, duh. Like a goose could bite me and it would hurt, but like I feel like I could, but like spider bite with like you're just gonna die from like venom. That's scary to me. Like, yeah, like if you put me in a room with a goose that was like honking at me and I could see its teeth, I'm like, I would be more scared of like a cobra, like a snake. Cause at least I can see the goose. If there's like a snake under something, you're not gonna like lift up a rock and a goose is gonna be like, bark. I don't know. I feel like that's kind of part of the scare factor, isn't it? Trap the spider. Yeah, like if you're playing some sort of like roguelike and you enter the arena and an animal comes out, or some sort of a creature, whether it be like animal, arachnid, what, not caring about the familia of animal strata, but what an a scientific animal, but like run the room as fast as I can if there's a spider there. Faster than the Flash. Well, that's a bold claim. That sometimes in some media forms, comics and TV shows, the Flash can run so fast they can run through time. So I would doubt that a little bit, but I appreciate the mental image. Crocodile, alligator. Ooh. Yeah, big old reptile. I don't think I've been around enough of them to have an appropriate level of fear. I do feel like visually they are significantly more imposing than a goose. I also like, can goose kill people? I know that they like bite you and are loud and like they're like, you know, somewhat. Can a, or has a goose, Google knew, ever killed someone? No documented cases of goose directly killing a human is what this says. Oh, there's a Reddit post from 4 years ago that says the average person would lose in a goose fight. Whereas it was like, right, they're like, I wouldn't like to hang out with a goose, but I feel like part of the scariest thing, I think, to me is like the, you know, bodily harm and like death, right? I don't know. Might be scary. Something did pop up that were like, well, if a goose, you know, crashes into a car or an airplane, they can kill you. And it's like, well, yeah, but anything can do that. It depends on how much preparation the goose has. Does the goose have a knife? Does the goose have a gun? Yeah, no. There are a lot of scary animals. My mom was telling me about a story she had read about that that like China uses geese to patrol some of like their borders, and that I think it's like a prison in like North Korea or something that uses geese instead of dogs as like guard animals because dogs can be bribed, but geese are just assholes. That they're better guard animals because they make an immense racket if anyone comes by, and they will bite you. They don't need to be trained to be little bastards. Amazing. That's the story I got. I don't know the veracity of that, but it kind of checks out. Where it's like you can give a dog a bone or, you know, befriend it, but the goose is like the goose. Honk honk. Geese. Coolest animal I've seen up close. Cool is an interesting thing. I feel like you try giving it a box. Like a cat? Do birds like boxes? I don't know if the first thing I thought of, I don't know if cool, the first two, I've seen some, you know, interesting like lizards, like reptiles up close and like touch some of them. Like some, you know, like dragon looking motherfuckers. But one of the other things that like I've seeing like otters in like the wild is some of the coolest stuff I've seen. They're not like, so I've seen it was a seal and it was eating in the wild, but it was something I've never thought of before. But so like, right, seals don't have they don't have hands, and their teeth aren't like made for like chewing, right? They so it was a seal that the way they eat is they take the fish and they fling their head, and then the fish like flies up in the air and it lands in the water. There's like a big chunk of meat. It's one of the craziest things. But it was like, whoa. Seeing animals in like nature and doing stuff is pretty cool. And neither like a seal or an otter is like, whoa, what a cool animal visually. But like seeing like otters and stuff has been super cool. Cool-blooded. But yeah, no. On like seeing, I've seen like whales doing the thing where they like they make rings of bubbles to feed on like the fish. That's pretty cool. But like I haven't, you know, going to like, you know, a zoo and seeing like big cats is cool. Bears. I like turtles. Counts as cool. Subjective. Hell yeah. Most things are. Like, what's the coolest animal you've seen? This sounds like it's, you know, it's like kids going to public school for the first time. They're sitting at a table and they're like, hey, what's the coolest animal you've seen? And then that's how you determine the social hierarchy. Is like, whoa. And they're like, I've seen a beetle this big. And they're like, oh, whoa. Did you know giraffes are like 10 feet tall? No, like, no way. I've seen a horse. It's taller than me. What? I do feel like seeing animals in the wild is just like cooler than in a zoo. Oh my god, but like, and seeing red pandas, those are cool. Those funny little guys. Entire experience makes it cool. Yeah. I know, when you just get to like see an animal just like sleeping in a cage. No, if it's a really nice big cage with windows and enclosure, it's not quite the same, but damn, some cool animals are cool. Right, the scariest ones to be on is the shortest ones. Really? Is that just because, or do the shorter ones happen to be more temperamental or younger? Or anytime you get a hold of snake is pretty cool. Ooh, I don't, snakes look cool, but I don't know. Touching snakes is also kind of cool because like scales, but I don't trust snakes. Small angry horses. I know. I feel like that statement makes me think maybe the smaller ones there happen to be scarier, but I don't know. Helped snakes before. Yeah, there's a snake trying to cross the road and he's like, excuse me, miss, will you help me? I've done side quests for snakes. Yeah, I've helped him out. I helped Steve Snake with his rent last month. No, I helped snakes. I'm sorry, I don't know. I was like, what does that mean? Oh, is it held snakes? Oh. That would make more sense. And then bring them around your mother because I know she's terrified of them. That's a really mean thing to do. It also sounds like you're finding snakes in like the wild and picking them up and bringing them home just to scare your mom. That's mean. The only time I've ever interacted with reptiles was in like the reptile man. There's I don't is that just what you call them? There are people that have, you know, like that go around to like schools and events and things with like boxes of reptiles. But I would not touch animals in the wild. Fish, frogs that ever pull a kid. Frog. Toss them out. Yeet. Be gone, frog. Go be free somewhere else. You're like, not in our pool. They're coming back. They crave that water. Froggy. snake parks. Whoa. We're dropping weird the snake park. I mean, what? Snake. That's because is a park just for snakes? Yo. That's a term I've never heard before, but like it's like, is that just like, oh, zoo for snakes? That's fascinating. Snake park. Like because I can imagine what it is, that, you know, it's like a place where they have lots of snakes and like you can interact with them. But the thing I was immediately thinking of is like, you know, like kids park where there's like jungle gyms and things, and it's just full of snakes. And you're like, oh, I'm gonna stop by the snake park. Or like a dog park where like people bring their snakes to like get some exercise. Like bird areas. Yeah, it is just like, you know, experience. But for some reason, the first thing I thought of was like regular park or dog park plus snake. And I was like, what? Works with penguins. That's cool. Reptile park, maybe it's wherever it's been. Maybe, but if you like going to snake parks, Annie speaking gibberish to me. What was it? What's not an aquarium? It was a oceanarium. Was that ocean? Me stopping by the oceanarium on my way to the snake park, or maybe stopping by the snake park on the way to the oceanarium. Where like words and things that make sense that I've just never heard before. I'm like, you know, I think that this. I'm like, whoa. The penguins live the oceanarium, or do they live at a regular aquarium? Penguins, give them fish. Oh, I was at my local zoo recently, and we were walking by the otter like enclosure, and their, you know, like trainers were feeding them food, but they were like playing catch, and the otters like new tricks and stuff. I'd never seen that before. Oceanarium has a snake park. Whoa. Snake park oceanarium combo. Oh, water snakes. I don't like to think that though. Ugh. The only thing worse than a regular snake is a snake in the water. Ugh. Penguins and seals there too. No longer have dolphins. Rip. I've touched a dolphin. Smooth. Like sandpaper. Like a weird little rubber fish. A blood moon on March 3rd. A pink moon on April 2nd. Flower moon May 1st. Blue moon May 31st. A black moon July 29th. Cold moon 24th December. Nope. Hadn't heard of that. A lot of people talk about the moon stuff. And sometimes my mom will be like, oh, there's this moon, and you go out and look at it and it just like looks regular. Close your head, go after New Year's. Rip. I haven't been to an aquarium in a long time. I just don't go places anymore. But yeah, oh man, back in middle school doing Phase of the Moon class, yeah, knew some moon stuff. Never been to an aquarium your whole life. Wow. You've got 7 fish at home. That's basically an aquarium. Not even once. Annie is right. That is where some of the most funny fish are. Huh. Damn. Never been to an aquarium. I guess it could be very dependent on how close an aquarium is to you. Don't think we have an aquarium where you live. It's possible. It's possible. They are kind of unique things. It's true. I feel like, well, yeah. I feel like there are a number of aquariums within range of me, but they do vary drastically in like quality. Near the coast. Yeah, I bet the more inland you are, the weirder it is, but also the kind of cooler, right? Although hard to get things there, I reckon. Aquatic life. There's some cool stuff in the ocean. You're like, excuse me, did you say ocean? Then that's an oceanarium. Gonna try sleep your sickness away. That is a really good idea. Rest is like the number one thing for illnesses or anything really. And there's probably only like 8-ish or so minutes left of stream today anyway, so fish. Blub blub blub. And one third of the fish are named Isabella, the other third are Felix, and then the final third are named or named Annie. Was that because no, but no, only if the fish have kids, or so, I don't remember what the fish lore is. Good night, good night, good night. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you feel better. Oop. The cat. Oh, she was making a racket this morning. Yeah. She was. And so I got up and then I gave her good pets. Couch time indeed. Yeah. The funny thing is, I don't know what she's a weird cat, but like some days I'll get up and she'll be like I'm not shitting you. That's like what she sounds like. Like she just like it's almost like a, you know, like animated chicken. Like if you it's weirdest noises. And then, you know, I have to pet her in a circle, walking her around and sometimes she goes many minutes. And then sometimes I'll be like, I'll get up to go to the bathroom and stream, and she'll be like, oh, petting time. And then, because like one day I'll like go through like 3 rounds of pets, and then the next day she'll be like, I'll walk out and I'll see her on the couch and she'll like look up at me and then go back to sleep. And I'm like, okay, so you're just not feeling it today? Way to make a consistent schedule here, cat. She is still, you know, today was interesting. My alarm went off in my pocket on my phone, and today while I was petting her, I was able to pull my phone out and turn it off and put it back in, and she kind of was like, what's he doing? He took something out of his pants. But she didn't run away, and I did that, and I was like, well, you know, in the past she probably would have run away. So she's making small bits of progress, I think. I think we've had the cat for like, I think 2 full years. I think the anniversary passed recently. And I don't think my mom has ever gotten to like pet the cat. So I think it's going better and worse for some units of the family. Enigma wrapped in a mystery asleep on the couch. It's mostly like a ball of fear that will sometimes forget that she's supposed to be afraid and will be cute or playful. Her person. I am not her person. I am just the second best person. Like, so the weirdest thing is, back when she was confined to like a room for like the first month, she would play with me. Like I could toss a string around or throw some things, or like she would play with stuff. She will not play with me. If I get a toy out, sometimes she'll go into, it was funny, she'll go and like stand on a string or something. She'll put her hand on like a little like toy and be like, I wish this was moving, and I can move it a little bit, and she'll like run around, and then she'll look up at me and realize that like it's me, and then be like, ooh, and then like walk off. It's the weirdest thing. She'll only play with my sister. But they spend a lot of time on the couch together. But so like I can walk up and like touch her and pick her up and stuff, but play with her, no. I know I'm working on trying to see if I can I'm increasing the amount of time she'll let me hold her. Like, and so this morning I got up and I was petting her and I picked her up and I held her for like minutes. But play with me? No. And sometimes she forgets. Like sometimes I'll be petting her and she'll walk over to a toy and I'll play with her for a bit, and then it'll like little bouncing logo will somehow hit the corner and she'll look up and realize that it's me and be like, I am not supposed to play with that guy. It's the strangest thing. It's also funny that like, so if I'm standing on the other side of like a couch or something, like if there's not a direct line of sight, I can like throw a toy on like a fishing pole or like on a string or something. She'll play with that over there. But if at some point then she can see my sister in line of sight, then she'll stop because she realizes that she can't be playing with her. It's I think I don't know if I've said it on stream, but I think I must, but I'll do it again. I feel that living in the house with this creature is like it's you get the experience of being an enemy in a stealth game. And like one who I have the cat thinks I have a cone of detection. She's a very smart girl. No, this thing is dumb as bricks. She is so dumb. It's so sad. No, she is. Object permanence is, and she'll hide with like just her head under something. And what's funny because it's like she moves around like objects like she thinks we have cones of detection, but you can just see her the whole time. Oh, it's like, dude, we can see you. You're not hiding. But she'll like circle around things. Be like, I'm stealthing. It's like, dude, you're not. It's like she's trying to avoid the grapple attack from a patrolling enemy, and it's like, you're so dumb. And also that like it's like, dude, it's been so long where no one is here to hunt you. Yeah, no, she is a weird little creature, but on occasion does look cute, and sometimes we'll let certain people touch her. Yeah, she does some weird stuff. Yeah, she's doing all right. Thanks for asking. I interact with her when she requests it. No, yeah, watching her interact with life is a very fascinating thing. But yeah, I was requested to end at noon today. We got schedule stuff. Lively conversations. No, true. No, yeah, she makes the weirdest little noises. It's funny. Her is bah, bah, bah. And then sometimes like you'll be petting her and she'll like yawn and she'll be like bah, bah. It weirdest little freak. She's a little goblin freak of a cat. But it's kind of funny. But thank you so much everyone who stopped by today, whether you're here now or long gone. It means a lot to me to stop by for any amount of time. I'm gonna start wrapping it up here. Make some more cat noises like meh, meh. Sometimes she just go like meh. Sometimes she's never like meowed, but she does. Sometimes it does sound kind of cat. Lots of or some, it's like she'll like open her mouth and it just kind of was like it's short stream Wednesday. Yeah, I've been just doing a like hangout on the Wednesdays has been kind of fun. Mix it up a little bit. Seems like it works out. Definitely works on, you know, changing it. Probably back to playing Code Vein 2 tomorrow. Is my thought at this point. We'll see. I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of their day, night, evening, etc. and is filled with exactly as much fanfic reading and writing as they desire. Yeah, this is gonna be it for me today. I'll be back tomorrow. Hopefully I see everyone around sometime soon. Bye-bye for now. Good night, good night, good night, good afternoon, good morning, etc. New Code Vein companion. Oh my god, she is crazy hot.